What is up? And we are back for another edition of the MMA Ratings Hangout. Um, of course, thank you for your time. You can always follow me at rgarcia_sports, and you can follow MMA Ratings at MMA Ratings Net on Twitter, and check out the website as well, MMAratings.net, where you can rate all of the UFC and Bellator fights that have went down from the week. And with that in mind, we have a lot of action to talk about from this past week. We've had two UFC events, one Bellator event, and then we got another big event coming up this weekend. So we're going to take some time to talk about every show that occurred this past weekend and also look forward to the 25th card and the big rematch that's scheduled for that night. So what we're going to talk about first is let's look at UFC Fight Night 71 that happened this past Wednesday, where Frank Mir fought Todd Duffy, and man, that was such a ridiculous fight. I was watching it with some of my coworkers, and we just had the feeling that we knew it was going to last long. But a minute 13 seconds, Frank Mir stopped Todd Duffy by a vicious knockout. And this is ridiculous, but I had picked Todd Duffy to win. That fight, I just thought that Frank Mir's on. I well at the time we're doomed as the heavyweight champion. Frank Mir's knocking guys out. Um, Shogun's about to fight Mauricio Hua. Fedor just announced he's coming back. Andre Arlovski's knocking guys out. So it's like, what time warp did we step into, and what year is this? Because so many of these heavyweight guys are coming back around and just dispatching people. And it's like, well, who are the young guys in the heavyweight division that are going to step up? And it doesn't really look like there's a lot of them right now. Even but there's him, Junior Dos Santos getting knocked around for a little while. Obviously, Cain Velasquez is there, but he's looking like he's punch drunk as well. So, like, really, who is the young new upstart that's going to blow apart the heavyweight division quite like John Jones did light heavyweight? There really isn't anyone that jumps out to my name right now, and who is someone worth watching right now. But man, heavyweight action is definitely fun. You never know what's going to happen. You know that all you know is somebody's going to get knocked out, and it's going to be a great ride along the way. So that was a big win for Frank. I'm not really too sure what the UFC can do with him next. He's kind of one in those positions where he can kind of do what he wants because he's been with the UFC so long. He's definitely a first ballot Hall of Famer. So he's just really kind of hanging out. It would be awesome, like let's say, if the UFC was to sign Fedor, if they could just throw him in there with Frank Mir, that would be awesome to see. I would watch that. Um, he just doesn't really immediate title contender, obviously, because he has 2 wins in a row, which is important at heavyweight, but there really isn't anywhere for him to go going to the top. I would like to see that Josh Barnett rematch again because I was still with the best offense, but either way, there's not too much for him. Maybe even send him over to Morris, let him go have some fun over there and submit some guys without being able to take a whole lot of damage. I would watch that and Frank Mir too as well. But this is where he can do whatever he wants. He's one of those guys who's always going to have a home in the UFC, and if he keeps putting guys out like this, you never know when he might stop fighting. Moving down the card, and I think one of the biggest wins from this whole week of action was Tony Ferguson getting a victory over Josh Thompson, and he dominated Josh for much fight. I had him winning all 3 rounds. I believe one judge gave the last round to Thompson, but Tony Ferguson looks really good, looks excellent. His comment, like he's landing 3 and 4 shots every time he exchanges, and that's just something that a lot of fighters aren't able to do. They may land 1 or 2 shots, but Tony's putting together He's landing with almost all of them, and it just disrupts his opponent's striking. His movement is very interesting too as well. Sometimes I think he gets a little bit too flat, but it's working. Put any bad positions right yet, and I think he's won 5 or 6. He has a lot who he faces next. He could go against one of the top 10 guys. This fight should have helped him land a spot in the top 10 rankings. But I would love to see him against maybe Benson Henderson and Khabib Nurmagomedov. Anthony Pettis would be awesome if Pettis can stay healthy. That would be a great fight there. There's so many good fights for him to take. Even if let's say Donald Cerrone is longer and take another fight. Him against Tony Ferguson would be great to watch as well. So there's so many fights across the weight class. And we could see this guy eventually challenging for a title by maybe early next year, and at least in 2015. And I can expect him to maybe fight twice. So you never really know what's up next for Elton Kui, but there's a lot of opportunity for him to keep climbing the ladder, especially after this big win. Holly Holm, she got a win over Marion. No, she looked a little bit better. I still don't think she's ready for Ronda Rousey. I think Rousey would demolish her right now. She's too aggressive for that style that Holm uses. She uses that. It really is a boxing style where you're points. And I don't want to say point scoring, but you're definitely racking up a lot of points from a distance. She uses her kicks very well to keep her opponent off of her and to be able to move. And it's a style that no one's been able to solve right yet, and I understand why she uses it, but I don't think it would work too well against a aggressive Rousey. So let's just keep letting her do what she's doing. Michigan Tate fight, Michigan Tate and Jessica Eye, they fight this coming weekend. So if Tate wins, maybe putting her in there with Holmes to see how good she really is. That's the next step, next logical step in my opinion. But after Saturday's fight, I'm not too excited to see her face a champion, or too excited to see her even face one of the top contenders there. Um, Looking down the rest of the card, there really wasn't a lot that I wanted to take away from there. Manny Gabriel secured a win over Scott Jorgensen. I think Jorgensen's done with the UFC. He's probably going to be gone after this. Kevin Lee defeated James Montessori. Don't really remember that fight, to be honest. Adam Jaboyan and Matt Dwyer was an awesome back and forth fight there. Very great fight. I would love to see them two fight again. But it was a lot of fun to watch that fight. They were very active, very energetic from start to finish. Sam Cecilia and Yatsu Meza, not that big. Sam Cecilia, someone I'm keeping an eye on just because he has that knockout power, but there wasn't really a lot to for me to watch there. Just Josh and Sarah Morris. Sarah Morris didn't look good at all in this fight. It looked like she doesn't have the tools to be fighting at this level. And just Josh was very tough for anyone in this division. Did more than enough to get the win, even with the scare right at the end. Hani Yaya and Masanori Kanahara. I don't remember that fight too much either. Actually, you know what? Yes, I do. I remember the fight stats from looking at Yaya and his just complete inactivity, and somehow he still pulled out a split decision win. Now that saying his name kind of brought that back for me. That was definitely a controversial fight there. I wasn't too happy with that decision, but it is what it is when it comes to these fights and these judges that are just ranking stuff the way that they do. I definitely remember listening to the fight stats after that, and that bad uh, decision there. Sean Strickland and Igor, I, whatever that guy's last name is, I don't remember this fight too much either. I remember Kevin Casey's fight, Alcantara, and Lyman Good, someone who I've been following for a little while, finally gets his UFC debut and stops Andrew Craig in the second round of their fight. He's someone worth watching, someone worth keeping an eye on. over the next couple of years or so because he's been doing so much outside of the UFC. It's good to finally see him get that shot to step into the octagon and show what he can do on the biggest stage. So I mean, UFC was fighting at 71 was a decent card. Obviously, the heavyweight main event was well worth it. Seeing Tony Ferguson's performance was also great to watch as well too. So it wasn't a bad Wednesday night card. I definitely enjoyed sitting down to watch that show. And that brings us to UFC Fight Night 72, where we had the opportunity to watch Michael Bisping and Thales. This one here was a important fight to me, just because I was wondering not how good Thales is, but how high is he really going to go. I knew he was already quote unquote good, because obviously industry, ever since he lost cuts from the UFC, he lost to Matt Horowitz, but he's on a pretty good tear. This was a split decision loss that went to Michael Bisping. I gave the fight to Michael, even though I know a lot of people were upset with that. But I gave the fight to him 3 rounds to 2, so I'm not too upset with the decision making there. But Michael Bisping is definitely a consummate gatekeeper, and I hate to use that term sometimes, but if you look at what he does, he performs very well against guys who are trying to break into the upper echelon. If you can defeat Michael Bisping, then you can go on a pretty good run within the division, like Luke Rockhold, for example. Then you got guys like CB Dalloway or uh, Dallas here, who is trying to reach that upper echelon, and he just couldn't get the job done here. So, like again, Michael Bisping is a definite gatekeeper. That's not always a bad term. He just wasn't able to get the big win that he needed on Saturday in order to be considered a high quality middleweight, someone that is putting themselves in position for another title shot. Evan Dunham defeated Ross Pearson. Evan is another one of those guys. He is a great lightweight. He's been doing a lot of good work. He went on a good run early in his time in the UFC, but he just hasn't looked. He sometimes he falters against some of the better guys. He had lost 3 straight fights against 3 top 10 guys: Rafael Dos Anjos, Donald Cerrone, and Edson Barbosa. So when he fought Rodrigo Dam and Ross Pearson, he looked a lot better. He got those wins there. And now he's just kind of, I don't want to say fouling, but he's definitely someone in the division that could be used as that gatekeeper type role. There are a lot of opportunities for him to continue going up, but I just don't think he has the ceiling as say someone like a Tony Ferguson that we just talked about. But he was still able to get a good win over Ross on Saturday. Joseph Duffy, man, how can I say here this? I have a friend who watches MMA who's definitely into the sport, and he sent me a message after Joseph Duffy's fight saying that he expects Joe to be a champion in the UFC. Now, I don't know if that's him just jumping on the bandwagon too soon, but he also said the same thing about John Jones and Conor McGregor, who are both in very good positions in the sport. So I'm not sure if I'm buying it right quite yet. I don't know. I don't think I'm buying it quite yet, but he is definitely looking good. He looked good in this fight as well too. He just looked awesome in his fight, securing that triangle choke. I always think it's great to see guys winning with a triangle. That's one of my favorite moves, but it's so difficult. I feel like it's so difficult to finish at this level. So it's definitely something worth seeing. Joanne Calderwood got the win over Courtney Casey. That division is still kind of flushing itself out there. Leon Edwards took a win. I saw this over um, Powell here, Stephen Ray over Leonardo Teixeira. Patrick Houlihan over Vaughn Lee. That was a pretty interesting fight there. Ilir Latifi, he's still doing this thing since he stepped up and took that fight on short notice. It's good to see him back in the octagon. Let me see if there's anyone else. No one else really worth mentioning. Jaime or Jimmy Rivera, he's a name that stuck out to me on Saturday as well too. He won via KO over Marcus Brimage in the first round of their fight. So I think he's someone that's worth watching going forward. I want to keep an eye on him as well. I want to touch on the Bellator event too, just because there's a couple of guys who I've always kind of kept my eye on there in this organization. I definitely Andre Koreshkov, excuse me, defeating Douglas Lima is a big step there because Lima was looking good. I expected him to hold that welterweight title for as long as he wanted to hold it. If it wasn't for his injuries, I think he would be a big name in this sport. He had that loss to Ben Askren back in 2012. Other than that, everyone that stepped in the cage with him in Bellator was basically dominated. I would have loved to see this guy come over to the UFC at some point in time. He's only 27, so he's still young, and it can still happen. But this was a unfortunate setback for him, especially when you look at the fact that Koreshkov was actually was dominated by Ben Askren. So you really want to wonder, like, how good will Lima be when he continues to flourish? Is he going to have that opportunity to fight in the UFC or to go somewhere else and compete? You don't really know, but this loss is definitely going to set him back pretty far, in my opinion. Also, Paul Daly, he knocked out Dennis Olsen in the second round of their fight. And with them signing Josh Koscheck, you know that fight's got to be made now. Koscheck versus Daly. Maybe give Daly or maybe give Koscheck a warm up fight. He hasn't looked any good. He hasn't looked good at all for the last couple of years. I think he is at that point where his chin can no longer sustain the damage, but which is a horrible state to be in if you're going to fight Paul Daly. But Koscheck is signing with, or he has signed with Bellator now. I think this is a bad move. I think he needs to step away from the sport. But if he takes this fight, he's probably going to get knocked unconscious, and that's going to be that. And the only other person I wanted to talk about was Brennan Ward, who got another win last night. He's another young guy that they have over there that I think is someone worth watching. even though he has some losses, I think he's definitely grown as a fighter, and I think he's someone that can come into his own there, kind of the same way Michael Chandler did over a while, but it's just taking him a little bit longer. He's growing in his skill set there, so he's someone that I just like to watch fight, and he got another victory as well on Saturday. So, okay, let's talk about UFC on Fox 16, where TJ Dillashaw will face off against Henry Burrell. We're finally getting that rematch that everyone has wanted to see. And yeah, I'm excited. I am. I'm leaning towards Henry. I'm not even going to lie. As I sit here and look at the fight card now, kind of different, but I'm leaning towards him. I think that the first fight, I'm not going to use the word fluke. I'm not going to say that, but I definitely think that Henan Brown looked like he was caught off guard in the first fight there, and that's why he just did not look as good as everyone expected him to. TJ, he defended the title well. He had that one victory over Joe Soto when Henan had the weight cutting issues, and he did what he needed to do in that fight. It was definitely a good fight to see. But I wonder, this is tough because I definitely guarantee that he's gotten a lot better since that first fight with Barral last year. But I wonder, I just wonder, man, this fight is very important. I just think Hennon's going to be able to get it done this time. Man, I can't even, like, even just sitting here thinking about it, it's almost hard to put it into words. But I've always just felt like he is probably is the best featherweight in that division. People may have said what they wanted to say about his run coming up to the UFC, but since he's been in Octagon, he's definitely been backing it up. And this is a very important fight. Um, it's going to be amazing to watch this. See Alpha Maranova Uyao to continue. But this is a fight right now that I just think that Hinnon is going to be the better fighter. I'm definitely looking forward to it come Saturday. Misha Tate and Jessica I. Misha Tate, man, I was talking about her the other day, how I almost feel sorry for her that she's so good and she could definitely be someone who um, who would dominate any division right now if it wasn't for Ronda Rousey. So now she's sitting here in kind of like the number two position, and it's not like she's waiting for another title shot because she's kind of so far from getting another one. She's already lost to Rousey twice. Rousey has West Korea coming up at UFC 190 on the first, and then everyone's looking for her to take that fight with Cyborg, and that's kind of I see that as her last fight. But Tate is sitting here in the number two spot, and she's shown that she has championship level skills, but she just can't beat Ronda Rousey to save her life. So she's fighting Jessica I this weekend, and this is more of an opportunity for Jessica because if I gets the win, then she's definitely able to slate herself in as the top contender in the division after Korea. So this is a fight where there's more on the line for her than there is for Tate. Even still, I just definitely pick. I'm picking Tate in this fight. I feel like she's so much better than a lot of the other women in the division, but she just can't get past the top dog in Ronda Rousey. So I expect her to be able to defeat Tate in, oh, excuse me, defeat Jessica Eye in this fight and just continue rolling. Anthony Barbosa and Paul Felder, that's a good fight and an interesting battle as well. I'm picking Felder in that fight. I've just never been too high on Edson. I just feel like he's definitely a great time boxer. I just don't like the way he responds to pressure when it's put on him. So I just think that this is a fight for Paul to win. Joe Lozon, Takanori Gomi, that's definitely a fight I'm looking forward to because it has absolutely no value to the rankings, no value to title shots. It's just a great fight. The two guys who are going to go in there and slug it out. I'm picking Joe Lozon to win that fight because even though both of these guys struggle in gas over the course of a 15-round fight, I just think that Lozon has more ways to win. So I'm picking him in that fight as well. James Galante and Tom Lawler. I'm going to take Galante in that fight. I feel like he has a better camp around him, even though he hasn't shown that full breadth of skills yet that like a Chris Weidman or Quinta has as well. But I feel like he is going to take this fight over Tom Lawler, Jim Miller, Danny Castillo. I'm going to take Jim Miller in this fight too as well. Danny is one of those guys who he's another one. Both of these guys actually can be designated as gatekeepers for the lightweight division. Miller was close to getting a title shot, but he hasn't been able to reach that point again. And Danny Castillo is definitely someone who's worth being on the UFC roster right now. Put together a lot of good wins, but he isn't someone that's going to leapfrog all these guys and get a title shot. So I'm expecting Jim Miller to take the victory from the female female fighter. Ben Saunders, King Robert. I'm gonna go with Ben Saunders, man, who's been on a run since coming back to the UFC. It's often funny and amazing to watch. Eddie Wineland, Brian Caraway. I think this is a big fight to watch here as well. Caraway was close to getting a bantamweight title shot there. He was looking good for a while, but he suffered some losses. Eddie Wineland, someone that I love enjoying watching him fight. He has a very unique striking style. It's fun to watch, enjoyable, but I think I see Caraway with more ways to win. Darren Cruikshank is another guy who is exciting to fight. He's fighting James Krause. Cruikshank is someone who the UFC wanted to fast track him towards a title shot, but he just can't get past the better men in the division. So I think that this is just a fight to keep him active and keep him from doing what he's doing. Ramsey, excuse me, Ramsey Nijem is fighting as well. Justin Duke, I'm surprised she's still in the UFC. I think whoever loses between her and Elizabeth Phillips is going to be cut. And Zach Cummings opens up the night against Antonio Neto. So yeah, that's UFC fight night. Oh, excuse me, UFC on Fox Team Fitness, which is this weekend's event. Again, I am definitely looking forward to seeing Dillashaw Brow too. I'm going with him to retake the title, going with Tate, Felder, and Lozon. Those are my main card picks. I think it'll be a good fight night, good weekend of contest this coming Saturday. So that brings me to just some of the news bits from this past week. Ronda Rousey had a big moment where she cleaned up on the SB. She won Best Female Athlete of the Year and Best Fighter of the Year, where she left over Floyd Mayweather, which was Floyd's been winning that award for a while now. But she took the opportunity, took a shot at Floyd, saying that she wonders how he feels getting beat by a woman. It's funny that back and forth in the media. Floyd had that "Who's Ronda Rousey" comment a couple years ago. He's like, I don't know who he is. Being a smart ass, because he obviously knows who Rousey is now. She definitely made a couple of comments about him in the media, just joking jab at his disregard for putting his hands on women. So it's funny to watch her continue to take shots at him. And someone brought up a very interesting comment the other day. It's like, well, it's interesting to see how the UFC praises her. I don't know if I'll use the word praises, but like definitely permits her to take shots at Floyd Mayweather while they put her in a position to buddy up with Mike Tyson, who also has a checkered past when it comes to his interactions with women. It's definitely subjective memory there, but I guess it's the fact that Floyd is so indignant with the fact of how he puts his hands on women. Definitely to hear more there. I'm definitely happy for Rousey to see her continue growing in the sport. I think she has like, maybe 2 more years to be competing at this level. She's beaten everybody. She's dominated everybody. I want to see her fight Cyborg. She's actually talking the other day in the media about her last fight in the UFC. And if she's at this point already talking about that, then that's definitely in the back of her mind. She has movies. She's definitely going to be a movie star. I see her going along the lines of The Rock, who everyone laughed and joked about him. Now he's making movies, making huge movies still. He has a new HBO show, and I can see someone like Ronda Rousey going down the same path as him. So hats off to her to winning those two awards at the ESPYs, and I expect much more from her. Speaking of Mayweather, it's been announced that he's going to fight Andre Berto. I don't know if it's been announced he's going to fight him or that's who it's expected him to face this coming September. Early thoughts are that that fight may actually be on CBS. I would be amazed if Mayweather fights on free television, but we'll see. Maybe it's a way for him to kind of wind down his career. But that's a news story that's coming up. I'm not too excited about that. I think he's just going to outbox Berto. Ivan Bird doesn't have a chin, but Floyd Mayweather doesn't really hit hard to put guys away. So it's just another money fight for Floyd Money Mayweather. WWE Battleground is tonight. Pro wrestling, that's my thing. It's been looking good over the last couple weeks. I'm looking forward to seeing Kevin Owens, John Cena tonight. I think Kevin Owens is going to take that win. Seth Rollins and Brock Lesnar, I think Seth is going to win there as well. So I'm just, I'll probably watch it. I'm not sure. I may be out, but for those of us who enjoy pro wrestling, enjoy MMA, that'll be there tonight live on the WWE Network. And be sure to check out MMARatings.net to catch Adam Martin and I doing our thing on the site. There's definitely the fight to make pieces up there. There's a lot of other content that he and I put together on a week-to-week basis. So be sure to check us out every day. You can follow us. Follow me at R Garcia Sports. You can follow Adam Martin on Twitter as well at Adam Martin MMA. I think that's his name. You follow Michael Ford and MMA Ratings Net as well. Check us out on Instagram too. And be sure to listen to us next week as I'll be back to talk about UFC Fox on 16. Excuse me, UFC on Fox 16. Geez, I can't talk. And everything else is going on in the world of MMA. So again, this is Raphael Garcia signing out for yet another week of the MMA Ratings Hangout.